Hi guys, Andrew the Gamer here and welcome to a hints and tips video of Fortnite Battle Royale. This is a top 10 tips video which is all opinionated, so I would just like to get that out there that it is just my opinion. You may agree or disagree with some or all of my tips, so if there's anything you would like to discuss, then simply just leave your thoughts in the comments below my video. I would also like to note that this is my first recording on my new Xbox One X. Unfortunately, the capability of my capture card means that I cannot record 4K gameplay. So the gameplay you see in the background of Fortnite is recording in 1080p. So, let's get started without further ado. So, number one is to stay on the battle bus for as long as possible. Many players leave the bus as soon as the prompt appears on the screen. The best thing is to wait until the last second to leave the bus. That way you can get a better idea of where enemies may be going. Many players simply jump out of the bus as early as possible, trying to land first and get an advantage over other players by collecting weapons and other resources before other players land on the battlefield. Number two is to land at isolated areas on the map. So by going to a busy area like Pleasant Park or Tilted Towers, you run the risk of being killed and then getting sent back to the lobby very early in the game. Instead, try going to less occupied areas, sometimes the far edges of the map at first, so you can avoid immediate enemy engagements. Just remember that when you're at the far edges of the map, that's where the storm passes through first. So make sure that you keep an eye on the timer of when the storm is coming in, so you avoid getting caught off guard by the storm and getting killed. At number three, we have harvesting resources. So basically, when you land, by default, you are equipped with simply like a pickaxe, like a little axe, right? Or whatever. You can use your axe to basically acquire resources like wood, brick, and metal. The entire map is destructible, so they can be acquired from most sources like trees, buildings, rocks, and so on. Doing so allows you to build cover in case you get ambushed by enemy players. And you can also build high structures to obviously get the jump on enemy players. And the higher up you are, the better. At number four, I would recommend not fully destroying objects while collecting your resources. So basically, when you're obtaining the resources, don't completely destroy the objects with your pickaxe. So instead, leave them with a couple of hits left. For example, when you get wood from trees, leave it with like a couple of hits left, By doing so, you give you and any teammates, if you're playing in like a team mode, cover from enemies, whilst obviously fully destroying them makes the map more open, and you're therefore more vulnerable to attack. So by keeping obviously those things there, you make the map more sort of together and basically more sort of like, say, compact, and it's not as open then and you're not as vulnerable to an attack. At number five, we have listen for the golden chests. While finding an individual weapon is nice, of course it is, the golden chests provide some of the best loot in the game. When they're nearby, or when you're nearby to a chest, you'll be able to hear a sort of like a tingling sound. Chests are most commonly found in lofts and the basements of like buildings, and they can also be out in the open as well. If you already have several weapons in your inventory, you could leave the chest and use it to lure in enemy players and ambush them when they go towards the chest. Just keep in mind that an enemy player could be using that against you as well, and you wouldn't even know about it. Tip number six is to use health and armor if you can. So whether you've got bandages, or health packs, or shields, use them if your health and armor aren't completely full. Slurp juice can increase your health if it's less than 100%. Also, having them in reserve is good so that you can replenish them after a gunfight, or if you've taken, like, say, damage either from enemy players or, say, fall damage. Remember that before using them, make sure it's safe to do so, as some of them take quite a long time, and you certainly wouldn't want to be a sitting duck while using your shield potion or whatever, would you? At number seven, use sound to your advantage. Whether it be unsuppressed gunfire, harvesting resources, or footsteps, enemies can be very loud, and so keeping an ear out is essential. If you have a headset, then I would recommend using that, as the design of Fortnite's sound system means that headsets can actually enhance these sounds, So keep in mind that if you can hear an enemy player's footsteps, they can also hear yours. So just be careful of that. And what you can do is simply crouch, you know, onto the ground. So it quietens the sound of your footsteps and it makes you harder to hear, doesn't it? At number 8, try to avoid using any vehicles. Yes, using vehicles like the ATK and the Quad Crusher are very useful for crossing the map faster. However, the noise that they make can be very loud, so any nearby enemies can easily hear you, which would give away your position. I would recommend simply just navigating the map on foot, so your position isn't as easy to compromise. Number 9, adjust your sensitivity. I did a video about this previously, which you may have seen. I'll put a link to that in the description. But slightly increasing or decreasing your sensitivity, or basically your horizontal and your vertical sensitivities, can increase your shot accuracy, giving you a high chance of winning, like say a gunfight. In addition, you can adjust your aim slowdown, meaning that when you were aiming down your sights, your aim can be sped up or slowed down, which may increase the accuracy of your shots. Also, try if you can, moving from side to side using the left analog stick on your controller, or mouse if you're on PC, if that's how it works, I don't know. And that way you can potentially dodge enemy bullets and therefore stay alive longer. And finally, for number 10, remember that Fortnite is about survival and not kills. The whole idea of Fortnite is to stay alive as long as possible, and be the last player, duo, or squad remaining. Yes, getting several kills is good, but it's not the objective of the game. You don't have to engage any enemies that you may encounter, and there's no shame about running away from a gunfight, because your objective is to basically stay alive. The best option is to obviously only start attacking other players if you have to, like if you're forced to. Otherwise, try to keep moving, and therefore, basically it allows you to prolong your time in the game and obviously stay alive longer. Well guys, that is all for today's video, and I hope you really enjoyed it and even learned something new, or maybe these tips may help you in the future. If you enjoyed this video, then please leave a like, and also if you would like, don't forget to subscribe for more if you would like to see more of my videos. That's it for today, stay safe, and as always, have an awesome day.